A CEO and a CFO walk into a bar. The CFO orders a triple shot of whiskey and tells the CEO, "Did you know that this year we will spend €500,000 in training and coaching of software engineers? What happens if they leave us afterwards?" And the CEO replies, "I'm more concerned what will happen if we don't train them and they stay."
Great. So hello everybody and welcome to our second video cast. It is exciting. Actually, there is a continuation, which is great. My name is Elad. With me is Wolfi. We are both certified LeSS trainers, and like in the previous video, we have selected a topic that we will discuss and share that discussion with you. This time the topic is technical excellence. Wolfi,
Yes.
what is technical excellence?
Okay, I see technical excellence as a set of engineering practices, like, for example, TDD, test-driven development, pair programming, mob programming, continuous delivery. And just that you understand why we chose this topic, why this is so important of us, is that you need to understand that the organizational agility is constrained by the technical agility. This means that no matter how agile your processes, your structures are, if you cannot change basically a product quickly, you will not be able to reach business agility. So if you need days, weeks, or months to change from one single line of code and get it into production, then actually your technical excellence could need some improvement.
Great. Thank you for that, Wolfi. So it's a second video, so a quick reminder or an introduction to those who are new about the format that we have selected. We will be conducting 2 5-minute time box discussion. At the beginning of each time box, one of us will present a question to the other, and then the other will try to answer. Now, that's about it. Okay, then. So the first question would be from me to you, Wolfi, if that is okay with you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, great. So in my personal experience, most of the developers are mediocre at best. So they do not demonstrate what we refer to as technical excellence. And I'm sorry if someone is offended by that. And my question to you is, why is that, and what can we do about it?
Okay. Well, I think the root cause is manifold. So I would say that first of all, most people I have experienced are working in organization and they are very busy. So it's all about features. You have to do features, features, features. They need to produce a lot of output, in worst case. And then because the organization is actually trimmed for efficiency, so this means the software developers are also specialists. And then I have seen some cases where they say, okay, I'm not a tester, I'm a developer. And so you don't get anything together and you don't get anything done. And then sometimes it's also so that those specialists, they love to work alone and they are in a way also educated, I think, to work alone. And then where is the collaboration in the team or even across the teams? That's, I think, one part of the environment there. And then also very, very often, and I don't know if it's a bigger part, is even they don't know how. So they have really missing skills. One thing to be noted is that typically those skills are not taught at universities either. But for example, skills like how to write clean code, what are good practices there, or what is working out in different situations. Or for example, people think continuous integration is a method or a tool, but it's actually rather a mindset of engineering. And also with testing, I have seen organizations where people think the only purpose of testing is to find faults, but no, it is not. Actually, testing is there to verify functionality or non-functionality like performance, stability, and stuff like this. Or then also, of course, it's also there that you don't seek or leak faults to the customer, but that's not primarily there the case. So also we want to verify the value. Do we really deliver the value to the customer? So those kind of things are, for example, there. And I have personally really experienced that when I talk about test-driven development, then the people are really looking at me and say, okay, you are from outer space. Yeah, like how comes that you can make a test first before you write the code? That's not possible. Or then really, as I said before, so they have such a strong role differentiation that I'm a developer, I'm not a tester, so I don't write any test code and stuff like this. So and then this team spirit, even if you say, okay, we have test competence in the team and so on, but even there the collaboration doesn't really work so nicely, I think. And the same comes with ATTD, so acceptance test driven development. And here, ask your organization, ask developers, when have you last time seen a customer or end customer, external customer, or end user who really uses your product? And maybe some have never ever seen this. And that is really something which is, I think, one of the problems here. And and then in this sense, I like to advertise this concept of specification by example, which is also a kind of a way how to actually elaborate the requirements. That you say, okay, this is the requirement what the customer has, and together with the customer, I, for example, discuss and elaborate this, understand what you really mean by this requirement, by this thing, by this acceptance criteria there. And then basically I get better requirements, I can write a test, and then those tests, they can then actually verify the requirements. So this is a concept which is for most people simple, not known. Yeah. And so that is more or less how I see the big parts. And these are just a few ideas. So that's by no means exclusive. Yeah. So there
Yeah,
might
before
be.
your time is up,
Okay. Oh.
what can you do about it?
Oh, I have to speed up. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So basically, start working. It's all about learning. So have the structural changes which enable, promote the collaboration, get the people trained and coached, introduce pair programming, mob programming, and give time to allow the mistakes. And also in this way, maybe honor team working agreements, because people do want in their heart to write better code. And those are, I think, the key things, what I would say.
Okay, so you got a few seconds left, but how can you get the necessary buy-in to do all of those things? Because what you are asking for is an investment. Right?
Yes.
So how could you get that investment in 6 seconds? And your time is up.
My time is up.
So then that's an open question that we leave
Yes.
it to the audience. Maybe you could comment and suggest ideas on
Yes.
how to do that.
Okay, now I was talking about this stuff, but then Elad, how do you see this in a large organization with many teams? Who actually decides on which engineering practices to use and when? I mean, you have a business to run, so you cannot just stop and only improve engineering practices. So what do you think about that?
Okay, so first of all, yes, I can. I can stop everything and work on my engineering practices. By the way, just as a side note, I think now we are in very interesting times when this has become a totally adequate option. If you read a little bit about stories from Toyota, for example, they have this unique example of a plant that was supposed to be shut down for 8 months. But instead of firing everybody, which is what probably 90% or 99% of the companies will do, they have actually decided to invest and invest this time. Instead of firing all of the people, send them for training and education and stuff like that. So first of all, I would say that the option that you invalidated is valid, and I think maybe we have an opportunity now. Still, there are more options. So I think that would still not be the popular option, to just stop everything and learn. So who decides? That was your question. So let me maybe suggest as many options as I will have time for. One option is to let the PO and the teams decide. So PO team representatives, have a conversation, discuss. This is what we offer call to as the definition of done, right? What we mentioned in the previous video that we talked about. So those could be covered in the definition of done. This is our agreement regarding the standards. Technical excellence definitely has a place in the definition of done and stuff like that. Still, this approach, it's really interesting to understand the size of the investment. Let's assume that we have a team that, or a teams or an organization that has no even automatic build and test platform. Let's not even talk about continuous integration. So it's a legacy product, 10 years old, no test, no automatic build. It's all done manually. In that case, I would say the investment is probably pretty big. And I would treat it as any other backlog item. I would say we have something that needs to go into the backlog. I would refine it, I would split it, I would clarify it, I would create maybe acceptance criteria, and then I would prioritize it together with the PO, of course, talking about cost and value and stuff like that, which are very important for these kinds of activities. So for smaller, so this is one option, right? So for smaller investments, like we want to cover this, I don't know, legacy class has no unit tests around it and it changes frequently, and we would like to add unit testing coverage. I would not ask for permission. I would not recommend anyone to be in a system in which you need permission to do that. It's a small investment. This is the engineer's professional integrity to do that, and they should have the option to be proud of what they do. So in that case, I would say just do it, like the Nike ad. Another option is which I kind of liked. I tried it once. It worked nicely. I'm not sure how valid it is in other organizations. Is to create a community of practice around the topic of engineering practices or technical excellence, and provide this community of practice with the authority to actually make decisions regarding. And then the great thing about the community of practice is that it is open for anyone to contribute. So if you care about the topic, from either as a product owner who cares about the investment, as an engineer who cares about the quality, as the CEO who cares about something, I don't know, anyone can join and contribute. And then that's, in my opinion, one very valid option of answering who decides. Another option, I don't know how much time I have, but that's okay. Another option would be to let managers lead this activity of creating an environment where technical excellence is encouraged and is important. So if we go back to the LeSS rules, then we mentioned that managers are there to help create a system and improve the value delivering capability of the system. Part of that is definitely having technical excellence and good engineering practices.
But that would require that the managers do understand what technical excellence is all about.
Valid point, very valid point. Yes, that would require that managers are indeed understand, or potentially in a healthy system, I think managers have more bandwidth and less maybe pressure and stress of the day-to-day operations, so that they have more bandwidth to go and inquire and learn about these things and maybe go to trainings, read a book, whatever. So regarding who decides, I think there is no clear-cut answer or any good options. It for sure needs to involve engineers, and for sure needs to involve the product owner. So exactly, that's it?
Yes.
Yeah, good.
Okay, Elad, so did you have any insights?
I think my main insight was that it really boils down at this point in time, in my opinion, just lack of knowledge. People just don't know enough about engineering practices and technical excellence. It's not even understanding, it's just lack of knowledge. That's my, I think, insight. How about your insights then, Wolfi?
Okay, for me, it was becoming really clear it's the product owner and the teams together who should make this decision on what technical excellence to really look at right now.
Cool.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. Elad and I hope you found this video valuable, and invite you to post any comments, ask questions you might have in the text below. And if you have other topics you would like us to discuss in the future, please do and suggest. Until then, see you next time. Bye-bye.
And tell us about did you like the joke? Bye bye.